Everybody, Jeremy here with Jason, CEO of Big Data Block. Thanks
Hello,
for joining
everyone.
us.
You're welcome.
Tell us about a little bit about Big Data Block.
Sure. So, the premise behind Big Data Block essentially is that I've been in the technology and big data space for a long time, and the cost of doing any sort of big data analytics program is usually pretty high. Either you have to have the right technologist, or you're paying external parties. Even using cloud-based solutions, it's still fairly expensive. So, my goal was to try to build something that brought that technology down so that anyone could have this capability. And the way we do that basically is that we create a Docker container, a distribution of our data processing technology, and we allow people to load it on their machine to be a node in our network, very similar to mining. So we basically piggybacked on the whole mining ethos, mining concept, so people can load this on their machine, become a node in our network, and then they essentially get paid as people use our system to do any big data analytics processing, for example.
So it's a truly peer-to-peer system where if you need space, you can purchase it. If you have extra space, you can sell it.
Exactly, and it's both, I would say, compute and storage space. Exactly, but you're exactly right. And so what it changes, especially in the big data space, typically, even when you're doing a cloud-based solution, you're sort of stuck paying a monthly fee and some of the rest. In this case, exactly, you only pay as you use it. If you want to do something in our system, you pay, and if then you're not doing anything for a month, you don't pay a dime, basically.
And you're a completely decentralized system?
We are, the processing is completely decentralized. We do have a centralized component, although we're looking at potentially partnering with even companies like Menlo One and things like that. But basically, because we have a web front end that people use to upload the data, to create the analytics they want to create, that part is centralized. And what happens is when they click go on a job, that data then gets just sent to our centralized layer and then sharded up and then sent to all the nodes that process. So like I said, there is a bit of a centralized layer, but we are even looking at how we could even get away from that at some point. But the true processing is totally decentralized by people all running our software on their machines.
So you're sharding the data basically into, is it specific geolocations? Because I know they've, okay.
That's a great, awesome question. So that's a great question. So obviously one of the challenges people have is, hey, I'm in this country and I'm processing data and I can't have that processed in the US, I'm in the UK, right? So we have exactly that. Because we know every node that's in our network and we know where they are based on their IP, obviously there are some ways people could fudge that, but for the most part there's no reason to. There will literally be the option to say, only process in my location. For some jobs, people won't care, right? They'll just be like, that's great, wherever it can process, it can process. But to your point, for privacy or local laws, if they need that, they'll be able to only pick, only have it run on nodes in their local area.
That's interesting. Yeah. Sharding's a good solution for that. Huh?
Yeah, and the other thing that's great is, like, some of the questions we get around, like, well, how do you know you'll be fast? Like, you're running on all these disparate machines and things like that. That's true. We have a base, specs that people need to have. But here's the difference: if you spun up your own instance, let's say as a small and mid-sized business, you might have a couple of nodes, a few nodes in your cluster. In our world, your job might be running on 1,000 nodes, right? So even though maybe each one individually isn't as fast as what you could buy, like at a cloud solution, the fact that you can distribute it so significantly and go really parallel, I think we're going to get some great performance out of it. And our testing has proven that. Yes.
Also a more resilient network.
Yes, and more secure.
And more secure.
And that's the thing that's funny. People love to think like, well, wait a minute, decentralization is less secure. It's actually the opposite. And the reason why is, if I'm a hacker, am I going after a company where I know if I can get in one little spot, I get all the data? Or am I going to go after 1,000 different computers, not on the same network at all? Like, you're never going to do that, right? The value just isn't there. So we believe it's far more secure as well.
It's like the one house in the neighborhood that has all of the money, the big system.
Exactly right? Like, are you going to figure out how to tap into that? You're going to go for that one, right?
Exactly. All the smart criminals.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else you'd like to cover?
No, we've got some great partnerships we're coming out with, partnership with Bluezell and some other companies soon. We're going to be announcing a few beta customers as well over the next few weeks, so check us out, bigdatablock.com.
We're Big Data Block, okay. Yep. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, man. Awesome.
Very nice talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
About Big Data Block.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.